Therefore 3 years passed without betwixt Syria and Israel. And in the 3rd year, Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, went down to the king of Israel. And the king of Israel said to his servants, Know ye not that Ramoth of Gilead is ours, and we be negligent to not take it back from the hand of the king of Syria? And he said to Jehoshaphat, Whether thou shalt come with me to fight in Ramoth of Gilead? And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, As I am, so in thou, my people and thy people be one, and my knights and thy knights be one. And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, I pray thee, ask thou today the word of the Lord. Therefore the king of Israel gathered together prophets, about 400 men, and he said to them, O I to go into Ramoth of Gilead to fight, either O I to rest? Which answered, Go thou up, and the Lord shall give it into the hand of the king. Forsooth Jehoshaphat said, Is there not here any other prophet of the Lord, that we ask by him? And the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, What man, Micaiah, the son of Imlah, is left, by whom we may ask the Lord? But I hate him, for he prophesieth not good to me, but evil. To whom Jehoshaphat said, King, speak thou not so. Therefore the king of Israel called some chamberlain and said to him, Haste thou to bring Micaiah, son of Imlah. Forsooth the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, sat, each in his throne, clothed with king's ornament, in a large house beside the door, or wicket, of the gate of Samaria. And all the prophets prophesied in the sight of them. Also Zedekiah, the son of Chemaanah, made to himself horns of iron, and said, The Lord God saith these things, With these thou shalt scatter Syria, till thou do away it. And all prophets prophesied in like manner, and said, Ascend thou into Ramoth of Gilead, and go thou with prosperity, and the Lord shall betake thine enemies into the hand of the king. Swiftly the messenger that went to call Micaiah spake to him and said, Lo, the words of the prophets with one mouth preach goods to the king. Therefore thy word be like them, and speak thou goods. To whom Micaiah said, The Lord liveth, for whatever thing the Lord shall say to me, I shall speak this. Therefore he came to the king, and the king said to him, Micaiah, O we go into Ramoth of Gilead to fight, either cease. To which king he answered, Ascend thou, or go up, and go in prosperity. And the Lord said, Betake it into the hand of the king. Forsooth the king said to him, Again and again I conjure thee, that thou speak not to me. No, but that is sooth in the name of the Lord. And he said, I saw all Israel scattered in the hills, as sheep not having a shepherd. And the Lord said, These have no Lord. Each man turn again into his house in peace. Therefore the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, Whether I said not to thee, that he prophesieth not good to me, but ever evil? Swiftly that Micaiah added and said, Therefore hear thou the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and I saw all the host of heaven standing nigh him, on the right side and on the left side. And the Lord said, Who shall deceive Ahab, king of Israel, that he ascend or go up, and fall in Ramoth of Gilead? And one said such words, and another in another manner. Swiftly a spirit went out, and went before the Lord, and said, I shall deceive him, to whom the Lord spake. In what thing? And he said, I shall go out, and I shall be a spirit of leasing in the mouth of all his prophets. And the Lord said, Thou shalt deceive him, and shalt have the mastery. Go thou out, and do so. Now therefore, lo, the Lord gave a spirit of leasing in the mouth of all prophets that be here, and the Lord spake evil against thee. Forsooth Zedekiah, son of Chenaanah, nighed and smote Micaiah on the cheek, and said, Whether the Spirit of the Lord forsook me, and spake to thee? And Micaiah said, Thou shalt see in that day, when thou shalt go into a closet within a bed closet, that thou be hid. And the king of Israel said, Take Micaiah, and dwell he at Ammon, prince of the city, and at Joash, the son of Amalek, and say ye to them, The king saith these things, send ye this man into prison, and sustain ye him with bread of tribulation, and with water of anguish, till I turn again in peace. And Micaiah said, if thou shalt turn again in peace, the Lord spake not in me. And he said, hear ye all peoples. Therefore the king of Israel ascended or went up, and Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, and Ramoth of Gilead. Therefore the king of Israel said to Jehoshaphat, take thou armors, and enter thou into battle, and be thou clothed in thy clothes, that is, in the noble signs of the king. Certainly the king of Israel changed his clothing, and he entered into battle. Swiftly the king of Syria had commanded to 32 princes of chariots, and said, ye shall not fight against any man, less either more, but against the king of Israel only. Therefore when the princes of chariots had seen Jehoshaphat, they supposed that he was king of Israel, and by fierceness made they fought against him. And Jehoshaphat cried, calling for God's help, and declaring his banner. And the princes of the chariots understood that it was not the king of Israel, and they ceased from pursuing him. Swiftly some man bent a bow, and dressed an arrow into uncertain, and by hap he smote the king of Israel betwixt the lung and the stomach. And the king said to his charioteer, turn thine hand, cast me out of the host, for I am wounded grievously. Therefore battle was joined in that day, and the king of Israel stood in his chariot against men of Syria, and he was dead at eventide. Forsooth the blood of the wound floated down into the bottom of the chariot, and a crier sounded in all the host before that the sun went down, and said, each man turn again into his city and into his land. Forsooth the king was dead, and was borne into Samaria, and they buried the king in Samaria. And they washed his chariot in the cistern of Samaria, and dogs licked his blood. And they washed the armors by the word of the Lord which he had spoken. Swiftly the residue of the words of Ahab, and all things which he did, and the house of ivory which he builded, and of all cities which he builded, whether these be not written in the book of words of the days of the kings in Israel. Therefore Ahab slept with his fathers, and Ahaziah his son reigned for him. Forsooth Jehoshaphat, son of Asa, began to reign on Judah in the 4th year of Ahab, king of Israel. Jehoshaphat was of 35 years when he began to reign, and he reigned 25 years in Jerusalem. The name of his mother was Azubah, daughter of Shilhi, and he went in all the way of Asa his father, and bowed not from it. And he did that was rightful in the sight of the Lord. Nevertheless, he did not away the high things, for yet the people made sacrifice and burnt incense in high places. And Jehoshaphat had peace with the king of Israel. Swiftly, the residue of words of Jehoshaphat, and the works and battles which he did, whether these be not written in the book of words of the days of the kings of Judah. But also he took away from the land the relics of men turned into women's conditions, that were left in the days of Asa his father. Neither a king was ordained then in Edom, but a deputy appointed by the king of Judah ruled over it. Forsooth King Jehoshaphat made ships in the sea that should sail into Ophir for gold, and those might not go, for they were broken in Ezion Geber. Then Ahaziah, son of Ahab, said to Jehoshaphat, my servants go with thine in our ships. And Jehoshaphat would not consent to that. And Jehoshaphat slept with his fathers, and was buried with them in the city of David his father. And Jehoram his son reigned for him. Forsooth Ahaziah, son of Ahab, began to reign on Israel in Samaria. In the 17th year of Jehoshaphat, king of Judah, Ahaziah reigned in Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went in the way of his father and of his mother, and in the way of Jeroboam, son of Nebat, that made Israel to do sin. And he served Baal and worshipped him, and wrath the Lord God of Israel by all things which his father had done.